Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus kiki at 9 in the morning. Whose idea was that? Oh, wait a minute. That was my idea. That's why I'm still in bed. Me? You know who I am. I'm FayWhat, and I'm going to help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's going to be a great week.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we're live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm also on demand anytime you want. It's Monday, February 12th, 2024, and before we start the kikis, I gotta talk about Black History Month, and I'm gonna bring in my main man with me, Jamal Starks, who's in bed with me looking all sexy and cute. I will give you his intro in a little bit, but let's talk about Black History Month first, all right? So Black History Month is a time to remember, respect, and honor the people who paved the way for the rights, privileges, and culture we have today. And here at the FayWhat Show, we want to spotlight some of those amazing people. Today, you will hear about two of those that paved the way. We can't talk about queer Black history without mentioning Marsha P. Marsha P. Johnson. Marsha P. Johnson has come to well-deserved recognition in recent years due to her central presence in the Stonewall riots in New York City in 1969. She was an outspoken transgender rights activist who was instrumental in kicking off the gay rights movement of the late 20th century. She helped to form and lead radical political organizations that served the transgender and sex worker communities in Manhattan. She continued her activist career into the 1990s as an AIDS activist for ACT UP, taking her radical and effective actions to combat the deadly virus. She lived with HIV for 2 years before being found drowned in the Hudson River under mysterious circumstances. Alvin Ailey is someone else that I want to tell you about. Ailey is one of the most celebrated choreographers in American history. He overcame racism and classism to become one of the prominent leaders in the field of dance, opening up the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in 1958. He was an unforgettable figure in the dance world for the color of his skin, his sexuality, and his undeniable genius. The man was a genius. He celebrated Black bodies, traditions, and music in his troupe, fighting for social justice and equality on the stage. Though he died in 1989 at the age of 58, his impact is still seen across the world, dancers and stages today. Black History Month gives us an opportunity to celebrate diversity, and even more so when we celebrate the Black queer community. So what did you think about that?
Yes, that was perfect.
Right? Wasn't that good? Oh my God. I just saw the Alvin Ailey, Alvin Ailey Dance Company. They have like a touring event in Miami Beach. They just had it at the Arch Center, and it was freaking amazing. And I was like, oh my God, who put the whole thing together? The man is dead, right? And I was like, what? Who was he? And then I started looking, I was like, oh my God, incredible.
You have to have this on the show.
I had to have him on the show.
Yeah.
So, wow. I mean, wow. So like last week we talked about Maya Angelou, and I mean, who knows who we're going to talk about next week. But I mean, I don't think that it's something that we should only talk about in February, Jamal. You know what I mean? There are so many.
Yeah. It's 365. Well, this year is 366.
366.
It's a leap year. So Black history is 366, you know? And the culture built this country. All the things that we love, all the things that we celebrate,
you know,
a part of
that.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we do today that it doesn't stem from the Stonewall riots, right? I mean, think about it, right? And so, and who was at the forefront of that? Black and brown, trans people. You know, so
Sylvia Rodriguez. Yes.
We can never forget it. We just can never forget. You never forget. All right. And here at the FayWhat Show, we want to make sure that you do not. All right. So let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed. You know who he is. Look at that smile. He's freaking gorgeous. I mean, come on, look at him. Our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late. And this morning I'm joined by my gay guy pal, Jamal L. Starks. He's a model, spiritualist, wellness counselor, part of Queer Yoga Club Miami, and HIV activist with Impulse Group, and also sits on the Men of Color Advisory Board for Viv Healthcare. Let's not forget he also walks as sex siren in the house of gorgeous Gucci. Look at his breast. Oh, you see that? You can find him on Instagram at @porcelain. Good morning, Jay, and welcome back to my bed, puppy.
Oh, I love you, boo.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
It's been real busy.
It has been busy. I know, but that just means that the Lord needs us in a lot of different places. That's what that means.
That
you know?
does.
Like when you feel like overwhelmed, then you're like, man, like, you know, we thought January was going to be like a slow month, and it wasn't.
February is just like cranking it up.
I mean, and this week is already Valentine's Day.
Oh, the lovebirds.
The lovebirds.
songbirds.
Which is why I wanted to amp up my makeup a little bit. What do you think about the blue?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it.
I'm
in my pink.
Yeah, I love it, right? Celebrating Valentine's Day like only we can. Anything fun for Valentine's Day? What do you think?
No, not for me.
Yeah, like, you know, I love, you guys know, I love my wife. I adore my wife. We just celebrated her birthday last week. And, you know, it's not that like I don't want to celebrate her, but I really believe that like February 14th is like for novices, you know? It's like for the new love. You know what I mean?
Puppy love.
It's for the puppy love.
It's
like
for the puppy
you
love.
pay too much fucking money for that dinner because all the money is put up during Valentine's Day here in South Florida. You know, you can't get a reservation to your favorite place or to like one of those bougie places
unless you already done jumped the gun, you know?
Yeah.
But why would you want, well, when you're as in it as you are, you know?
I mean,
you paid your dues.
I did pay my dues. I took her out to dinner the first couple of years. We've been together 9 years. F that.
Oh yeah, you paid your dues.
You know what I mean?
You paid your dues.
I'll bring her a cupcake home and go, here. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. Whatever. However you celebrate Valentine's Day, make sure that it's good. And at the end of the day, if you don't have a special someone, be your own Valentine's Day, boo. You know, something that I learned from Jamal is, you know, and something, okay, you guys know that he does a reading for me a couple times a year. And one of the things that he told me that to start doing a lot of mirror work, right? Oh. And I have to really get on that. Whatever you tell me to do every year, I do.
You know, I've been forgetting these things.
No, because
I did tell you that.
Okay, because when he starts telling you stuff, his eyes go in the back of his head and he starts talking like these other things. You don't know who the hell you're talking to at that moment. So you don't remember what the hell he tells you, but you remember what he tells you. And one of the things you told me was to do more mirror work. And so mirror work, if you don't know what that is, it's basically looking in the mirror and giving yourself something good, a positive affirmation about you.
Yeah.
Right?
I love
so
me.
what
I'm
would
beautiful.
be something?
Yeah.
So
I'm beautiful. I love me. You're the baddest bitch ever, you know?
Okay.
You're gorgeous.
Ooh, I love
You are
that.
enough.
Ooh.
You are worthy.
Ooh.
You know,
you got a big penis.
Yes.
Anything that makes
big
you happy.
Energy, anything that makes you happy.
Okay.
You are here right now, and you are meant to be here right now, and this is where you're supposed to be.
Okay. Okay, see? So work on that. I'm going to work on that. All right, let's get our kikis. You ready, boo?
Let's go.
All right, we got a lot of tea to talk about. A lot of tea and some shade. You know, a little side of everything.
You know, I haven't had my morning tea here in a while.
I know.
You know?
I know.
I used to have a tea.
I know. What happened to all our teas? You see, that's what I'm saying. Like at the beginning of the Valentine's Day, I was good to my wife. Now I just bring her a cupcake. Now we don't even give you water. We say get naked and, you know, get into bed. That's how it works. Anyway, first, if you're gay, it is better that you get some advice from the Ask Gay Men community of Reddit, okay? Because the members of this group recently discussed the red flags every gay person must know, and they are so very true. Uncommunicativeness, okay? Internalized homophobia, jealousy, and desire to be one of the good ones for straight people are some of the red flags the community members think we all should look out for. And there is another one they mentioned, being a Republican. What do you think? Gay boys name red flags in relationships. What are we all talking about?
Is uncommunicativeness a word, or did we just make that up?
I think we did. Uncommunicativeness.
Did we just?
Because that shit did not flow out my mouth for uncommunicativeness.
I thought everybody just went to Twitter or X, for their red flags.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I
Is that
thought
what
everybody
it
just discussed it on X.
No, but now you could do Ask Gay Boys on
Reddit.
Reddit. Reddit is like, you gotta get on Reddit. Reddit is some crazy shit. They be starting off with some topics that go into some places, and like you get some feedback on stuff that you would never know. Just look at it once. Look at it once, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Because I mean, so okay, what do you think about some of the red flags though? Like if someone like you know.
All of those are good red flags.
All of them are good. So if someone doesn't communicate well, you think that it's not going to be a good relationship.
Well, yeah, I got to talk to somebody. I got to, and I think also communicate on your level of frequency, on your level. Like, you know, you have people who they talk too much and you're like, that's not me. Or you have people who talk too little.
Okay, but that's exactly right. Someone that you're compatible with your talking, because, you know, everybody like makes jokes about lesbians always talking, right? And not us, right? Not me and my wife. And that's why I love it. I don't want to sit in the bathtub talking about our feelings. I ain't got time for that shit, Jay. I don't have time for that.
No, I want to sit in the bathtub and have time with you.
Have time with you. I want to give you a foot massage, but I don't want to hear about like what happened to you when you were a child that you didn't get hugged enough. I don't want to.
But some people like that.
Okay,
exactly. And that's a communication on the level. Like some people want to.
And that's the balance. I want you to talk to me if something's wrong. I want you to talk to me if I'm fucking up. Right? Like if I'm not doing something, because I can't read your mind either, right? My wife has this distinction and she keeps on thinking that she told me something. If you say something in your mind, you didn't bring it to me, baby boo. You only said it to yourself, you know? So I want you to talk to me.
I have that problem.
Do you?
Just like the text. Like I think I'll send a text and then I'll look back and be like, oh my God.
No, and he's like, didn't I tell you that? I told you that. I'm like, no, you didn't, baby. And he's like, I meant to. In my mind, I pressed send. I pressed send.
I did it, but when I look back, I didn't.
I didn't. Would you date a Republican?
Hell no.
Yeah, me neither. No, and I thought, okay, first of all, people, Jamal's the nice one, okay? I'm not. I'm the first one to go, F that. I ain't dating no Republican. I was expecting him to go, well, it depends. Maybe he's, he was just like, nope.
No, ma'am. That is off the table.
Completely. Nah, ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm black, child, girl. I'm black. And they're black Republicans, but I am hardcore African-centric. Like.
He's like, I'm black. No, I never noticed, Jay. I had no idea. Next up, in a recent TikTok video, 26-year-old Floridian twink Clarkson Lawson ignited a debate by criticizing men in open relationships. He takes issue with those who claim superiority over traditional relationships. He calls them out and tells them they have not reinvented the wheel by being in a polyamorous relationship. Lawson argues that primal urges, including sex, distinguish humans from animals. And he contends that open relationships are not evolutionary process, but regression. Some agree with him and some don't. He tends to follow the libs of TikTok approach of slamming LGBTQ+, including Pride Month. Watch this.
If you want to have an open relationship, that's fine. But don't sit here and act like you just reinvented the wheel because you let somebody else sleep with your boyfriend. Now, don't relax. I know if you're in an open relationship, you're already offended, but hear me out. One of my friends is in an open relationship, and I have a lot of people online who I see post about being in an open relationship. There are two common arguments that are made in support of this type of relationship dynamic. The first one is that they have evolved past the point of needing monogamy. They are able to mentally separate sex from being in a relationship. The only problem with this is that it operates under the assumption that human beings are monogamous by nature, which we are not. Sex is a primal urge, and what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom and the Neanderthals is being able to not act on primal urges when it is in our best interest. So no, having an open relationship is not the next step in evolution. It's actually regressing because you're needing to act on your primal urges in order to stay happy in your relationship. The second point I hear is that, well, sex isn't everything in our relationship. Our relationship is not defined by sex. And this is very easily debunked. Your relationship is defined by sex because you cannot give it up with other people in order to be in a relationship. I'll say it again because I know y'all like to tussle. It's not my business. If it works for you, it works for you. But don't sit here and put yourself on some moral pedestal like you are the next coming of Einstein because you and your boyfriend are able to let somebody else in your relationship. Relax, okay? Just relax.
Relax, okay? Just relax. TikTok twink debates monogamy and open relationships. What are we all talking about?
I watched some of his videos, Clarkson, and at this point, he kind of made a good point. Even from a person who has engaged in polyamory, like he makes a good point. Like we didn't
invent the shit,
right?
We didn't invent it. We're not taking ownership over it.
There's no moral high ground. It just is what it is.
Yeah,
like it is what it is. If that's your preference, then that's your preference. I'm really tired of the argument because to me it sounds like the gay and straight argument. You know, like monogamous straight people go, "Oh, being gay," and then
it's a choice.
It's a choice, and it's like the monogamous people are like, "Oh, I'm monogamous. Oh, open." Like,
do you, boo? Whatever works for you.
I thought we were gay and queer for liberation purposes, so that we are free to live our lives in the way that we feel is best for us.
Yeah.
And so whatever's best for you, boo boo. Like I don't want to debate nobody over how they live their life.
You said you saw some more of his videos. Like
I did.
Did you like him? Like he seems to me like he's like sex deprived, actually.
It seems to me that he just sees things in a certain dynamic, like from his own lens. And
we respect that. We respect his opinion, whatever.
I actually have listened to him, and he has facts, he has life experiences that back up why he sees things the way he does, and he welcomes people to tussle, like he says, you know, or debate him.
Yeah.
And if you win out, you win out. I just don't like debating people over their life preferences.
Yeah, because again, it's a preference. Like whatever works for you. The thing, you know, we didn't invent the wheel, and we're not taking ownership over poly relationships. We've always been more open, right? And we've always had to make our own way, right? So, you know, our family's not our family because they disown us. So we have to make our own family, right? Our relationships are a little different. So we have to figure out how these relationships work for us. Thruples, you know, work for some people. They don't work for everybody, you know? Is this an evolution? Maybe. For some people it is, you know, for some people that can't stay dedicated to one person and are bad cheaters, maybe they need to have this kind of relationship and this works for them.
Yeah. I have seen people who actually, you know, like it really and it's been working for years. Like I even had a little judgment within myself like years ago, and I think after just sitting back, sometimes you just have to sit back and observe, and just wait and watch, and see what happens before inserting said opinion on whichever, even if it's monogamy, because hell, we have over 50-60% of monogamous couples divorced and not doing well. So I don't think anybody has the moral high ground when it comes down to relationships.
No, and you know, relationships take work, and no, sex is not everything, you know, but it's a big chunk of it, you know, and if you're not loving each other and feeling each other in bed, then you have bigger fish to fry. You have bigger problems to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had relationships where we don't talk, but the sex is great, right? And then I've had relationships where we talk too freaking much and the sex sucks. You know, like it's not, that didn't work, obviously, you know? So, all right, okay, do you, boo. Do you, boo. Next, Republicans are worried about Taylor Swift. Yes, let me say that again. I can't believe we've talked about Republicans in two segments so far. That's a lot for the FayWhat show. Republicans are worried about Taylor Swift possibly supporting Joe Biden in the 2024 election. So Donald Trump is said to be gearing up for a fight, declaring a holy war against Swift. I know. Swift backed Biden in 2020, and her influence has grown since then. In such a scenario, her supporting Biden will turn the tables in Biden's favor, something Trump is freaking scared of. He, however, wants to appear unbothered over this possible endorsement, as he believes he's more popular and has more fans than Swift. Sources say he is frustrated at being snubbed for Time's 2023 Person of the Year. Trump says he's more popular than Tay-Tay. What are we all talking about? I wish that you folks could see Jay's face when I read certain things, right? Because you'll see him and he'll be like, no way, is that true? What? Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, how... Okay, the delusion is real. How about that?
We live in a high school. I'm going to call this the high school of the United States of America.
Oh my God. P.S. America.
Yeah, P.S. America. Public school system America. Because that is how we operate, right? With celebrity culture. Like, the president is a celebrity, and now he's going after, you're not popular than me. And it's like Mean Girls. Isn't Mean Girls 2 coming out?
The movie already came out. It wasn't as good as the first one.
Oh, was it? No. Well, of course I did.
I mean, the first one was just so freaking good.
Right.
But, like, you know, good try, boo.
Are we living in Mean Girls?
We are. And Trump has started that. You can't sit with us. Yes, he has started that. But the delusion is real, Jay. Like, how can you think that you're more popular than Taylor Swift? You know, I mean, she's everywhere. Like, even Beyonce looks up to her at times. That is how big she is. You know, that like, I know.
A holy war?
A holy war.
Oh, where have we, like, there was a time where we could speak about, like, presidents and politics in a very intellectual manner and celebrity culture in an intellectual manner. But now it's like, what the
Yeah, I know.
I can't
I know you're a
even-
church lady and you don't want to use the word, but you can.
Mhm.
He's fanning himself. Next, Rustin star Coleman Domingo recently talked about the reaction he and his husband had when Domingo was announced among the 5 men now vying for Best Actor honor. In an interview with Variety, Domingo shared that he couldn't sleep on nomination day. Instead, he got up and tidied his closet. When his name was announced in the feed, he and his husband celebrated and cried happy tears. With his nomination, Domingo becomes the second openly gay actor to receive a nod for playing a gay character in this category. Adding to the milestone, Domingo has also become the first Afro-Latino star ever nominated in this distinguished category.
His attention-grabbing antics make him an easy target.
The reason why he was hit in the history books was because he was openly gay.
You don't read about people like him every day.
I would say this trio, George C. Wolfe, myself, and Barry Rustin, our guardian angel. Barry was a very smart man. I consider myself a very intelligent person as well. And I think that's the thing that we're both so attracted to, is like how his mind worked and how he led this way and created all these blueprints. And I think the fact that he happened to be gay is interesting enough. And I also love that we're able to really not hide that part of himself, but show how that also influenced.
My theory is that he became out because he had a lot of stuff to do and didn't want to waste time on shame, feeling shame or feeling powerless or feeling lost.
Coleman Domingo shares husband's reaction to Oscar nomination. What are we all talking about? You know what I'm talking about? That I'm so freaking happy for him.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Did you hear their love story?
No,
How
tell
they
me,
met?
tell me. How did they meet? They're so cute.
They passed each other in Walgreens and
In Walgreens?
Yes, in Southern California, and they kind of had a double back to each other. His husband was walking with a girlfriend of his, and so he was like, "Damn, maybe if I go back, the next Sunday, maybe he'll be there." He wasn't. So he was searching the classifieds for you're right. Craigslist. He was searching Craigslist, and his husband had put an ad out for him. Who is that beautiful black man that I saw walking out of
No!
So,
oh my God, that's beautiful! I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so they went on a date, and they've been together for the last 19 years.
Oh my God! Queer love is so beautiful.
Valentine's Day week.
Black queer love is even better. Oh my God!
Latino love.
I would watch them have sex.
Oh,
I would watch them
gorgeous.
have sex.
They are gorgeous.
They are so adorable
freaking
together.
Gorgeous.
And him, Domingo, they had to ugly him up. Did you see? You saw
they
Bayard,
uglied
right?
him.
You saw Rustin, right?
Yeah.
Rustin was
he got-
incredible. If you didn't see it, see it.
Please see it.
Oh my God,
Yes.
so good. Okay,
Yes. And you will understand that the March on Washington, since we're in Black History Month and we're doing all the things today. You will understand that the March on Washington was organized by a Black queer man.
that would have never happened if it
That
wasn't
would have
for
never
him.
happened.
And like again, we grow up knowing about I Have a Dream, knowing about the speech, knowing about the amount of people that showed up, all of that, but we never heard about the backstory.
He organized.
And you
the
never hear that a
entire thing.
queer black man put that all together. And again, the movie's very good.
And also the Montgomery bus boycott with Rosa Parks was masterminded
by him as well.
Bayard Rustin.
Yes, nobody say it's not Bayard. It's not like
Bayard.
it's not like an aspirin, okay? It's Bayard, okay? Like buy yourself a copy and go watch it.
But I'm so happy for
Me too.
Like this is his time.
I really hope he wins. I mean, I don't know who he's up. If he's up to God, what is that movie that's got it's 4 hours long and I couldn't sit through it? Side Piece. You know what I'm talking about? Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Okay, sorry. I know it won a bunch of shit. I couldn't sit through it. I tried three times.
Me
I tried.
too. Me too.
I tried. It's
Me
not
too.
because it's a white film or anything
No,
like that.
no.
I tried.
It's actually a very good
three
film.
times.
But it's a lot of
It's just
like,
very long.
It's long.
And it's a lot
of
of
information.
substance. Yeah.
There's just a lot.
I can't, So
Yeah.
I hope I pray that Bayard that Rustin wins. I hope that Domingo wins.
Yeah.
He's also not an overnight success. He has been in the game for a while.
Forever,
Also,
yeah.
he has been a supporting cast member to a million things,
yeah.
and this is now.
And now he got The Color Purple.
Yep.
He got Rustin.
Yep.
It's like just his time right
It's
now.
his time.
It's so beautiful when when people really understand divine timing and like see.
I love that.
I
love that.
He's been here.
I love that.
But now here's the divine timing for him to shine.
And like talking about divine timing, so the Grammys were last week, and like Miley. Oh my God, amazing!
And she's
Everybody
and
calls
she's
her an overnight
bisexual.
success. She's not
She's
an
not.
overnight success. She's been working her ass off for this,
Yeah. And she's bisexual.
She is.
She's a part of the family.
Yay.
She is
Hi,
part of the-
congratulations.
Openly.
So Miley Cyrus won for Flowers, and
First Grammy.
and when she said her acceptance speech, she basically said this was a song that like I didn't expect for this to happen. I kind of did this song with all the love and passion, let it go, and stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then it came back to be this monumental, huge success.
Yeah. It was such a beautiful night for Victoria Monet, for Coco Jones.
Oh my
for
God, Annie Lennox. Everybody, Tracy Chapman. Oh my God, like I
Joni
was
Mitchell.
dying. Go back and watch it if you can.
It was
really
good.
an incredible
It was
night.
an incredible night.
Ooh. And finally, actor Wilson Cruz, a prominent LGBTQ plus figure forever, joined actress Melissa Joan Hart in addressing a congressional roundtable on the Go Safe Act, a legislation by Nevada Senator Martin Heinrich aimed at curbing gun violence. The act targets certain semi-automatic firearms, large capacity magazines, and gun modification devices. Hart, known for her TV roles, shared how the 2012 Sandy Hook tragedy altered her life and views. Cruz, personally affected by gun violence, recounted the heroic sacrifice of his aunt in the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting. He expressed his exhaustion as both a concerned citizen and a victim's family member.
My name is Wilson Cruz. I'm an actor by trade, currently on Star Trek Discovery. But today, I represent my family. I am a nephew and a family member devastated by gun violence. My aunt, Brenda Marquez McCool, was murdered at the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting while she placed her body between the shooter and her son, who survived. I'm also here as a citizen who's exhausted of seeing families traumatized by the loss of their loved ones, by instruments of death that have no place on our streets. This bill calls for a ban on weapons that were literally created in order to end human life, to destroy human bodies. If we claim to be a society that values life, the very least we can do is pass this bill and save more human lives by removing these instruments of terror. And so if I can be here to lend my name and to represent my family, who are all here with me in my heart, calling for this end, it's the very least I can do.
Wilson Cruz pleads against next Pulse tragedy. What are we all talking about? I love that he used his platform this way,
Yeah.
I mean, wow, how long have we been seeing Wilson Cruz? We were just talking about it
16 years old.
in My So-Called Life, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was forever ago. And I just remember, and so, if you do,
Well,
Google
if you're
it.
that old.
Google it. If you're that old, then you know, okay?
If you're My So-Called Life
Oh
old.
God, side piece. Who was the main character, the white chick that went on to do a lot more stuff?
Let me check.
And so Wilson Cruz, I remember him being part of My So-Called Life. Claire Danes.
Yes,
Claire
Claire
Danes,
Danes.
right? That has done a million things after. And so I remember watching that show just because I can feel he was gay, right?
Yeah.
And I knew it wasn't like, I kept on waiting for him to come out in the storyline somewhere. And then I figured it wasn't going to, but like, I still wanted to see more of him.
Yep.
You know?
And then we got to see more of him.
And then we got to
after
see
he
more of him.
When
he got older.
I love.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That
Oof.
man.
He got buff too.
Oh, that man. That man.
Does he do it for you?
Oh, yes. Yes. That is so.
Your type.
That's.
Well, and he's got the salt and pepper. He's got the nice
That's
skin.
it.
He's got the. He bulked up, so he's got like nice little.
He's an activist. You know, he's an activist. He's an HIV activist. He's now a gun anti-gun law. Anti-gun activist. He's an LGBT activist. He's just a beautiful human being.
Yeah, he's a good soul.
But he has a husband.
Well, it is what it is. Well, he was doing like some kind of like a Star Trek or something like that too, right? Side piece. Was he doing like a Star Trek or a Star Wars or something like that?
Yeah, Star Trek.
Star Trek. Watch that. Okay, that's basically he was making his moment back when he started with Star Trek, and you know, like you said, using his platform for good. You know, there is no reason why someone needs an AK-47. There's no reason why you need a modification piece to add to your gun to take out 50 rounds in 30 seconds.
But
like,
we live in America of the Americas, where you are not going to take my guns.
Don't take my guns.
Oh, and we're not talking about taking your guns. We're talking about getting automatic weapons off of the damn street.
Look,
there is no reason. If
no
you're going to a
reason.
gun range, okay. If you're going hunting,
not even hunting. No, not even hunting. Because if you're using the whatever you're killing for taxidermy or anything else, you can't load it up with guns. You can't load it up with bullets. You can't.
No.
They want it to be a clean kill, and that's it. So you have all of it intact.
Yeah,
okay?
not a semi-automatic.
Not a semi-automatic. It's not needed,
not
Jay.
No, I know that.
Unless you're going up against The Walking Dead, you know, you don't need it.
You're right.
Just
You're
saying.
right. You're right.
Anyway, thank you, Wilson Cruz. I appreciate you.
I love you.
That part. The FayWhat Show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America, and Hotspots Magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 40 years, and Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. What are you doing this week? Anything fun?
Joe,
anything fun? Hiding under your blanket with your baby?
Unless somebody wants to come hide with me.
Yes.
It is Valentine's Day weekend, but you know, no, I'll just be loving on me.
Yeah, but that's important. Again, going back to that, if you don't have a partner, love on yourself.
Love on me.
Listen, masturbation equals love. Those are the words I'm going to walk away with.
It does. That's a spiritual practice you should put into your routine.
Really?
No, dead ass.
Okay, see?
Especially for women.
See?
Yeah.
Again, make yourself feel good and do it in front of a mirror.
Oh, ooh. You took it there.
And then send it to me.
You took it.
Oh my God. Horrible. Thank you, Jamal L. Starks, for joining me in bed. Please make sure that you follow him on all social media outlets at Porcelain. That's Porcelain with a 3. All right? I love you, boo. Mwah. I love you so much, sexy ass mother effer. Did you know that Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square, which also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church, right here in Fort Lauderdale. We broadcast our Sunday service every week at 10:30 a.m. FayWhat Show, we bring you interesting interviews from amazing people like Kevin Clevenger. He's the FlockFest Director of Development with nearly a decade in nonprofits and one of our favorite LGBTQ plus events in South Florida. Here it is. I'm really excited about my next guest here on the FayWhat Show. You know, aside from being a friend, this gentleman is just a powerhouse when it comes to LGBTQ plus, just our community, our fundraisers, our incredible organizations, and he's in bed with me today. So it is my pleasure to welcome to my bed, to FayWhat's bed, Kevin Clevenger.
The crowd goes wild.
You know that one day, Kevin, I'm going to have a whole audience here, and they're going to do that for me, and I won't have to do that.
Like Oprah?
God, do you think?
Yeah.
I could be the brown Oprah. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Like, how dope. Can I make you cry
She
now?
was brown too.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying, like, you know, brown as a Latina brown, silly. Anyway, so Kevin Clevenger is the FlockFest Director of Development. You know, folks, if you go out to events that FlockFest throws, you probably have seen Kevin running around with like a chicken with his head cut off, doing this, doing that. What, in a nice way? You're always super busy.
I am.
You know, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so your title is FlockFest Director of Development. What exactly does that mean? Like, do you get to develop all the cool things that FlockFest does?
I get to come up with some of the new stuff. So, you know, like the splash pool parties, you know, like other events where we help out in the community. I do a lot of our social media, you know, I do a lot of graphic design as well. So, I do a little bit of everything. You know?
Yeah, you're a jack of all trades.
I am booked.
You a busy bitch. That's what I usually tell him when I send him a message. You a busy bitch.
Yes.
I love all that FlockFest does, and what I love is that you know, honestly help other organizations while having a great freaking time. You know, when I first met you, when I first started FlockFest beach events, let's do that. When I first started FlockFest beach party, that was all I had heard of. Was your beach party, right? And I expected to go there and see no women, no inclusivity, right? And I was completely wrong. And I'm so glad that I was wrong when about that, you know? It was so not true. Has that always been the case for FlockFest beach parties? I mean, how long have you been with FlockFest now? Let's start there.
So I volunteered with FlockFest for a couple of years now. And then back last year, I actually joined the team as the Director of Development. But I volunteered with them for a couple of years, you know, helping with the beach party, helping with their check-ins and stuff like that. And that was always my observation, that it seemed to be a kind of a man-only event. There wasn't a lot of people of color. And, you know, like when I came on, my goal was to bring in diversity and its representation through our entertainers and through our DJs and making sure that everyone feels welcome at our pool parties. And as you can see, Splash has been a great inclusion event for us.
Oh my God, yes. And I love the splash pool parties, folks. If you've never been to if you've heard of a dope ass LGBTQ plus pool party, it probably is a FlockFest pool party, okay? And the inclusivity is there. And like I said, you know, I'm a little ashamed that, like, again, my first thought of, okay, this FlockFest is just going to be a bunch of white dudes, right? It's not going to have any inclusivity. And maybe that's what people saw when they went in years past, right? But it wasn't what I experienced once you were a part of it, right?
Yes.
So my first FlockFest beach party was a couple of years ago. And then last year, I had the honor to host for you folks, you know, and couple thousand people on the beach having an incredible time, you know. It even rained and everybody still came back and partied for 3 more hours. That's the kind of beach party that you put together.
Yes.
Have you seen the evolution of this beach party since you've been a part of it?
Yeah, it's definitely, we've taken it to another level. You know, we made it more of a polished event. We've added in new furniture. We want to make sure that it looks like it's a proper event and it's something that our Fort Lauderdale Beach can be proud of.
Yeah,
You know, one of our sponsors is Visit Lauderdale, and, you know, we want to make sure that we promote this beautiful city, and we want to do it the right way. And when you look at all of our promotional videos, they always highlight the beauty of this town.
Yeah. And I had just had the pleasure of interviewing Richard Gray a couple of weeks back with Visit Lauderdale. And it's like, we're so freaking blessed, Kevin, to live where people vacation at, right?
Oh, yeah.
And something that I noticed with you and FlockFest, that you take full advantage of that, you know, where it's like you said, the backdrop of this incredible beach party is the beautiful ocean, the beautiful sky, the sand. You know, what what Fort Lauderdale has and South Florida has to give all the people who come and visit. The pool parties at the Easton, that place is amazing.
And it really highlights the beauty of Fort Lauderdale to overlook Holiday Park with the Panthers ice skating rink, the Parker, and you could see Wilton Manors, you could see downtown Fort Lauderdale, and just having that elevated experience to showcase the beauty, because we get so many people from out of town. Usually 30% of our attendees that come are from out of town.
Really?
We get them from the Tri-County areas. We get a lot from Orlando and Tampa. So we make sure that we market to them as well, and bringing in people to really showcase the beauty, because not only does it bring jobs to our city, it keeps our Uber drivers, our Lyft drivers, our restaurants, our bars. It keeps all of these people, going with much needed money.
Definitely, especially during COVID, nobody got hurt more than nonprofits and organizations, you know, and to see everything kind of come back is such a wonderful feeling. You have fundraised for everybody, though. I mean, like you were a part of Poverello for some time, right? Smart Ride. You know, we've interviewed Glenn Weinzimmer here as well. Florida AIDS Walk, that is also coming up soon. You're still a part of that.
I do love
the Florida AIDS Walk too. And you folks know I don't wake up early, right? This is the only time I wake up early is for this show, right? This is why I look like this, right? But like for AIDS Walk, I'm excited about it. You know, we always have a really good amount of people out there representing, and it's all for a good cause, AHF is amazing also. I mean, they're just incredible,
And one of the things about the Florida AIDS Walk was it was my first event at Poverello. And, at the time, we'd received a little bit of money, and then they kind of changed the format to where they did a dollar match. But, I was an HIV positive man. I was kind of ashamed of it because it was one of those things that was put in the background. You didn't talk about it. And the AIDS Walk was the first time that I actually felt acceptance. And to walk with people
love that.
Of the same, it's like, oh my God, we're actually saying that we're here, we're proud of ourselves, and, just to make a difference. And it was great.
Completely.
And I've won so many awards from them. The Celebrity Lip Sync Battle won the best fundraiser. I've had the largest group. I was the #1 fundraiser. I was the #2 fundraiser.
Tony Lima, Sunserve, watch your back. You see, Kevin Clevenger is right there.
I beat Tony a few times.
Escándalo! You heard it here first. Wow.
Yeah. But it was for the greater good. We all came together. All of the nonprofits participate together. That's one of the things with the Celebrity Lip Sync Battle is we met I met someone from Aqua yesterday, and it's an opportunity for all of these nonprofits to come together, express their message in a new format to people that might not be aware. So Aqua they're more Miami based. So this is an opportunity to perform at this lip sync battle to talk about why you're part of this event. So,
and also money goes back to the organizations as well. I thought the lip sync battle was just a way to see all our community leaders, try to lip sync, right?
Try.
You know what I mean? Because let's talk about the lip sync. Do you think it's fair that you're going to put somebody like me or Tony Lima up there on stage, and then you're going to have someone who does lip sync for a living? That's not fair.
Okay, I always make sure that the battles are equal. And he brought Vegas Dion one year to be part of his number. And so,
No, so then, he cheated too. All right, well, okay.
But how is it cheating when you're raising money?
No, it's not. Everybody wins. And I saw you speaking to the person from Aqua Foundation the other day, and that was just awesome to just hear how it all pans out, right? You go there, you help this organization. We all have a great time, right? You might learn some moves and you might learn a song, right?
And they took a trophy.
And they took a trophy.
The microphone trophy.
I got a microphone trophy.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. So, Kevin, when I met you, I didn't know that you were HIV positive. I didn't know that you were in sobriety. You know what I mean? We just kind of became friends. I think that you were working at Pride Fort Lauderdale then. And before that, you worked with other Prides, right? And you've traveled the whole freaking world.
Oh, yeah.
At Prides, right? You have been in marketing and branding for years also. That's like a good, 2 decades maybe?
Since 1999.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I look so young.
He uses olive oil. You would never know. How was corporate non-gay America to work for in comparison to gay organizations?
It's different because when you're making a difference in a community, selling a product is one thing, and trying to help promote that thing, it goes into somebody's pockets. But when you're raising money for a nonprofit, you're making a difference in the community. You're helping to support the people that much need it.
Yeah,
it is much different, but that taught me how to be good at where I'm at now in my life.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, and again, when it comes to community engagement, when it comes to philanthropy, when it comes to the dynamics of nonprofit organizations, that's what you freaking know. That is what, like, you eat, sleep, breathe, and poop.
Yeah.
Sorry about the poop part, but
everybody poops.
Everybody, it's true. Everybody does poop. FlockFest has come in and just become such a force to be reckoned with. How many years has it been in total that FlockFest has been with us?
So next year will be our 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. But I just have seen such a huge, like, just evolution in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How many People's Choice Awards did you win from out South Florida?
We won 3. We won Best Nonprofit, we won Best Local Event, and what was the other one that we won?
I don't know, something that you beat Tony Lima and Sunserve over that he was upset about.
Best Event, yeah. It was good.
That's a lot.
And it's not a competition. We were just very proud and honored because we had been nominated before, but this is the year that we actually won stuff. And I was very proud to see the community vote for us and recognize all the work that we do for all the nonprofits.
Well, it's honestly, Kevin, it's the work that you and your team have put in, okay? Because FlockFest, it's like when you feel, Flock, what the Flock or FlockFest or whatever, people now know the name. People now know the pool parties. People now know that you work with other nonprofits and organizations and you get them some cash. And people know that whatever you throw is going to be a good time, But I think, and you have even told me this yourself, that the reason why it all works is because of your crazy ass team.
Yeah.
Your team, your board, your team over at FlockFest. I know I'm going to forget some people, but I wanted to say, thank you to a couple of them. To Stephen Crawford, of course, Bud. I love you, Bud. Iman, John, Dan, Corey, Ryan is part of that crew. Latanya is on your board. I freaking love Latanya. I love you. I love them all. And I got to tell you that, the events that I've been so honored that you guys have hired me to host, they make working events easy. And it's hard for me to explain that to you, Kevin. I do a lot of freaking events. You know that, and some people are on top of their game. Some people are prepared. Some people make it easier for the host and some people don't, right? With FlockFest, I'm always supported. I am never alone. If I need anything, the day before, day of, day after, there's always someone there to just make sure that I'm taken care of. Security is on point. People checking in are on point. There are no loose ends. There's no back door where people get to slip in on, how do you stay on point with all of those things?
It all comes down to planning. This is where all of our expertise come into place. Me putting on events every week. I was a truck driver for 15 years. And,
Shut up.
And then each week I had to do multiple events in multiple locations with new talent. So it's all about planning and execution.
Did you have to sit on a pillow so you could look over the steering wheel?
Okay, now you sound like my mother.
But it's not easy. But it's not easy.
It wasn't easy. No, and we plan a lot of stuff. We have like all kinds of spreadsheets where we go into the warehouse, make sure that we pull all the right items. It's planning. And sometimes we fail. Sometimes we miss the mark on something. But, we also take the feedback. And what makes us better is by learning from mistakes that we've made. If somebody didn't feel a certain way, we want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay. And that's so important. I mean, that's something that we learn in our sobriety, Kevin, is just... what is it? Doing the same thing over and over is insanity, right? We're told that, and expecting the same result is expecting a different result. Okay, so doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result equals insanity, right? And that's something that's just told in sobriety, and we have to learn from our mistakes, but we have to learn, and it's like if you did an event and things didn't go well, shit happens, right? This is life. But you keep it moving and you learn for the next time that you have an event and you don't make the same mistake. And I noticed that you guys are big on that. Yeah. So, I'd be remiss if we don't talk about, I have to talk about Pride Fort Lauderdale. Okay. So you were ED of Pride Fort Lauderdale. I mean, that's a big position to have. How long were you ED for Pride Fort Lauderdale?
So I was with Pride Fort Lauderdale starting back in 2016 when they were at the Holiday Park. And they decided to transition over from Holiday Park onto the beach and really showcase what Fort Lauderdale's about. And I was marketplace coordinator for several years. So I dealt with all the vendors, bringing people in. And then back in 2020, there was an opportunity for me to become executive director. And coming in at that time and, we were all shut down. We were supposed to have Pride of the Americas that year. And it was, we were less than a month away from launching that. And, everything got shut down. So coming in at a time where, wow, there's no revenue coming in. So it was, how do we create revenue? And so we started, I was like, let's sell flags. And it was definitely something I didn't expect. I thought, oh, we're just
what a great idea, though.
And I never pictured it. And so then we started selling flags at all these other Pride events. And these kids would come up and they got this opportunity that I never had, where their parents were buying them their first Pride.
Oh my God.
And so I have so many pictures of selling of a person or somebody who didn't feel where they knew their place in the world. I got to sell them their first Pride flag, their first Pride merch.
Oh my God.
I gave some away too, you know.
Oh,
so, you know,
that.
there was, you know, we got to talk to people and I got to learn about what non-binary is. Like I knew the overall definition, but not really understanding what it was until I met somebody. It's like, well, why do you feel this way? And it was great to hear all of these. And there's so many terms. And like each week they're like, oh, have you heard about this new flag? And I'm like, what? But, you know, we took it as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
And to really broaden and make sure that our prides were not just what we wanted. It was what the community wanted. And that's what's important, is coming and hearing the feedback from the community. It's like, this is what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want this old performer. We want somebody that we're relatable to.
We want something new. We want something that we can relate to. And it's interesting about the flags, though, Kevin. Like, what a great idea, first of all, right? And I've got to tell you that, like, one of the first times that I ever saw a lesbian flag in person was in your kiosk, you know, because I had never seen, you know, I've seen the progressive flag. I've seen the rainbow flag, right? But I had never seen the lesbian flag. I had never seen the bear flag. I had never seen, just whatever you identify as, they have a flag for it.
And there's actually there's like 3 lesbian flags. There's the one with like the battle axe, which was, you know, like when you go back and look at some of the history for these things, you learn it's like, well, this was kind of this neo-Nazi kind of formulation. And then you have the regular lesbian flag. Then you have the lipstick lesbian flag. And then you have the lesbian sunset flag, which is the most beautiful.
Is it really? I've never even heard of that one. What's on it?
It is basically the lesbian flag with a few more added colors. And it was formulated because some of the original lesbian flag didn't have representation of the trans community. And a lot of our trans folk do identify as lesbians.
Of course.
So they wanted to make sure that they felt included by adding these new colors in. So it's beautiful.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so what was, I know this is not going to be easy, but what was your high point as ED over at Pride Fort Lauderdale? If you could pinpoint one.
I mean, there were so many opportunities that were just really, truly amazing. And it's like, it set me up for the position that I'm in now. But yeah, like learning how to really market an event and, you know, make sure that everyone felt included. You know, we had several stages. We brought in the lesbian sunset stage, because here we are on the beach, lesbian sunset. You know, we had new logos, we had Bear Pride, we had, you know, Afro Pride. Everybody was included on a different stage. So everyone had representation. And that was probably one of my proudest moments, is to make sure that everyone felt welcome at our events.
And felt seen. And that is, and you do that so splendidly, Kevin. When did Pride Fort Lauderdale decide to move off the beach?
So last year, we were running into some financial issues. You know, a lot of people were big sponsors were starting to pull back. And it's happening across the board, not just for us, but a lot of LGBT nonprofits are having this issue because of
was it because of anti-LGBTQ plus bills against us, the drag bans and stuff like that? Did you feel that kind of heat, you think?
Look at the pushback that Target got. They've always had a Pride section for years and nobody ever thought twice about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one person took off with it, and then all of these people started bashing them online.
Yeah,
and
it's bad.
It's really bad, and that continues to happen. So it is hard. So when we looked at the logistics of having it on the beach, I actually wanted the Oceanside Park, which is that new park where they have the cabana, they have the stages and everything. And I wanted to move there because the logistics of the beach is putting down all the ADA accessible platforms. It's expensive. And putting it on sand.
For folks with disabilities and wheelchairs, etc.
To make sure everyone can access all of Pride, because if one person doesn't feel like, oh, you put all these booths out here and there's all this sand, but I don't have the ability to get to it, they're going to feel left out. So it was a huge expense. And then the parking lot itself, every one of those spaces cost us $30.
Ouch.
Yeah. And there's 480 spaces.
Ouch! Do the math.
Yeah. And then you have to start times it several days in a row.
Oh, hell no. Because the setup and all that.
The setup.
And the breakdown.
The setup, the breakdown. And until you release it back to the city, you're charged all of that money. So there was a couple $100,000 just in that. So the financial stability of having it on the beach was just not really right. Moving it over to the Intracoastal Park made more sense. It made it more intimate. It made it accessible to everyone. I
liked it. I helped to host that year.
Yeah.
Right? And it was right there across the street from that big parking lot thing.
Yes. So it had parking garage there. You know, it was right on. It had the water taxi was able to access it. The parade ended right at there. So it made a little bit more sense. I did love the beach. I mean, I loved it. I hated it too because it was walking in it for days. It was really hard.
It's hard on the old knees. But it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful. And it really showcases the beach. But affordability wise, it just wasn't a sustainable model.
And so, so then you move it inland a little, right?
It's still on the island, but it's just, you can see the beach from a distance.
Were you happy with how it turned out?
I was. Boy George was amazing.
Boy George was incredible. Oh my God. Boy George was amazing. He really was. And people were happy and people loved where it was at. People loved the intimate part of it. But soon after you left the board, you know? So what, I mean, you know, rumors have gone everywhere about mismanagement on Mike's part. Mike was the head, the president of Pride Fort Lauderdale, and he still is the president of Pride Fort Lauderdale. You had other people that were on the board that are no longer, like Kitty Meow and other people like that. Where did the breakdown start? Like, when did you decide that I can't be a part of this anymore?
So I actually resigned in December, but I stayed on until after Pride of the Americas because I wanted to make sure that all of our vendors in the event happen and took place, because there was relationships with sponsorships are very important to me.
And they were through you.
Yeah, they were through me.
You didn't want to lose that relationship as well.
Correct, because if that didn't happen, then it would have fell back on my relationships with a lot of these communities. And so we started having some, you know, there was the financial issues, you know, like I was trying to sell as much as I could for sponsorships to help pay for the event, and it just wasn't enough. And the board president, Mike, just would make sure that he reminded every week that it was. And so I decided to leave. It was a hard decision because I love Pride. I loved going through and representing. You know, we've gone to Dallas and Vegas, and
I've gone to Costa Rica with you for Pride.
Yes, absolutely. We know the importance of Pride. Well, Prides are needed now more than ever.
More than ever.
Yeah.
More than ever. They're just ridiculously important.
Exactly. And people are feeling left out because they're not included. When you look at Orlando Pride, they have over 225,000 people that go to that Pride. And I probably would have been one of them because I lived in that area. I went to high school in Kissimmee, and you don't hear about Kissimmee Pride, or you don't hear about Brevard Pride. So people from all of the surrounding counties come to that Orlando Pride, which is a great way for people connecting with relationships. You feel more in touch with your community because you feel like you're a part of something. You're able to access medical providers that are specific to the, you know, the community. So if you need PrEP or HIV testing, all of that's available to them, and they come from all of those counties to find those resources.
So it's so important.
It's so important.
It really is so important.
Yeah.
So Pride Fort Lauderdale recently announced that they would not be having their Pride this year. You think that would have happened if you were still with them?
It all comes down to getting sponsors. And they've just got to take some time and rebuild some of their relationships within the community and show themselves to be a good organization. You know, they've been around. They're actually the oldest Pride organization in the state of Florida.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
They're older than anybody.
Wow, that had to be super hard for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from, you know, your relationships and your friendships and stuff like that, I know how important prides are to you. Like, again, I've walked with you in a handful of prides. I know how... You know, that's when we all feel seen, and you literally live your life for people to fucking be seen. That's just you, you know? So I could just imagine how difficult that decision was to have to step down.
It was definitely a difficult decision, and you know, it just needs to rebrand itself. You know,
are you still cool with Mike?
Yeah. He actually wished me happy birthday a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's sweet of him. That's sweet of him. And listen, and again, whatever, you have picked up all these incredible traits from all your past workings, you know, and that is my own personal opinion why you're so successful with FlockFest. I think that when you got this opportunity, you hit the ground running. Oh, I already know what to do.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know what I mean? Okay, so what does FlockFest have in store for 2024? Let's talk events. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk events. So again, follow FlockFest on all social media outlets. I'm going to give you all the handles at the end of our interview, but there's always something going on. They're always helping with some organization all throughout the week. If you're one of those people that are like, there's nothing to do this week, that's such bullshit. Because literally, if you follow FlockFest events, you'll have a billion things to do every week. All right, so let's talk about the FlockFest Splash Pool Party that's actually this week.
No. Oh, that's true. It's coming up this week.
It's coming at the end of this week. So it's February 18th. DJ Ed Talks from Hunters and special dance performance by the Royal Peacock. A dance crew that I saw them a couple of weeks ago at My Hollywood Pride, and they were incredible.
They got that big peacock energy. That's their hashtag.
That is their hashtag, right? But I thought you came up with that, but I love that. All right, so this is, okay, so we're back. We're still having pool parties this year.
Oh, yeah.
Full force. February 18th, you still be kind of like off the high of Valentine's Day if you're into that. Or we could just do Galentine's Day, which is everybody in the pool in your trunks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's a great, we also have so many people that come to our pool parties. I mean, we're truly blessed. It is the largest pool party in South Florida for the LGBTQ plus community. And, if you're looking for love, we have a little bit of everything. It is a body positive event. You see people of all shapes, sizes, and walks of life. And it's a great opportunity to go and just get in the pool, have a couple drinks and mix and mingle.
Oh, I love it. And there's always a performance, and every DJ that you guys pick, is always incredible. Of course, I mean, Ed is just dope because, I mean, you've been to Hunters. Hunters is just phenomenal, but you always have great DJs.
Yeah. And don't get me started on that Irish accent. I love Lucky Charms.
I love me some Lucky Charms. Okay. Make sure you get your tickets for that. All right. Okay. Next, it's Rock the Block by Harmony Waves featuring David Archuleta. He's so damn cute.
He is super cute.
He is so cute. And that's on Saturday, February 17th. That's also this week coming up.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So it's Rock the Block. This is its first year out. And they're going to be shutting down Wilton Drive, part of Wilton Drive. Right there by Hunters, between the section where I think it's 6th Street and right there almost to where the Tulio's is. So there's plenty of bars, plenty of stages. It's going to be a great time.
And David Archuleta is just so super cute. Gay, adorable, talented.
Mormon. Hello. He's a Mormon.
Still?
Well, he actually went against his church. The church wasn't very accepting of him coming out. So he had issues with that. And now he's kind of, doing his own thing. And I'm very proud of him.
Oh, my God. Love that. Make sure that you look for some articles because John Hayden spoke with him also. And Hotspots did an interview with David Archuleta, all talking about this before Rock the Block. So that's going to be amazing. And we have to talk about the celebrity lip sync battle to benefit Florida AIDS Walk at Hunters Nightclub on Wednesday, February 21st. That is next week. I've been to the lip sync battle the last couple of years in a row, and great talent, great community leaders that you tap.
Yeah.
Do you tap everybody or do you go, somebody wants to see this person up on stage?
It's a little bit of everything. So one of the proudest things about the celebrity lip sync battle is, not all of our community, our community is so diverse and it has so much talent, but we provide a platform for them to come up and showcase their talent. People that have never had that opportunity to go on stage before. And I'm so impressed. Pup Aspen has got up there and done just the most amazing performances, things I've never seen him do before. And he comes out and he does a very androgynous look. He's done full drag. He came out with a handkerchief skirt one time, and that was the comments that we were getting back was, thank you for providing this opportunity to let us perform. And it's great.
And you're right. You had a little bit of everything. There was Drag Kings. There was Jonathan Casañas naked. There was Auntie Mame. There was Daisy Dead Petals. There was Elimination Onyx. I mean, a bunch of Terry Dye. I mean, everybody was up on that stage the last couple of years.
Tiffany Fantasia, Sasha.
Oh my God, that was the finale. Remember that shit? That was crazy. There's a video somewhere. Shasta was also in there. Oh my God. Okay, get your tickets. You want to be there Wednesday at Hunters. commenters because it is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and you get your camera, get your phone ready because there's a lot to record that day. Trust.
And
all right.
We're partying with a purpose. That is our hashtag. And come out, get your dollars, and then just tip these people because every dollar that they donate is matched dollar for dollar by AHF Pharmacy and AHF.
God, AHF, thank you again for everything that you do. All you do. You guys are just incredible.
Yeah.
I got to talk about Tropical Bear Week too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the 21st annual, is it the 21st annual? No.
No. It's
No.
It started as Bears in the Alley.
It started as Bears in the Alley a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right behind Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and
that's
it's definitely
so cool.
evolved. It's showcasing Fort Lauderdale. They have 3 pool parties. They have the Jungle Queen, which people make fun of the Jungle Queen, and
they have great ribs.
Yes, it's all you can eat chicken, ribs, and shrimp, and people don't understand that the Jungle Queen has been here for a very long time, and it showcases, again, the Florida, the places that you never get to see.
Yes.
You get to see these multi-million-dollar houses, and they tell you that, well, they bought this $10 million house to tear down and build a $20 million house. And
is that on the New River or something that it goes?
It's along
yes.
We are the Venice of America, and you don't get to see those opportunities unless you're a
millionaire
or on a boat.
Yeah.
And so that is really a great time. They have their own little private island with lots of animals, the monkeys, the parrots.
Oh
and,
my God.
It's a really fun time.
That is so cool. So Tropical Bear Week is March 5th through 10th. And where can people get tickets for that?
You can go to theeagle.com and you can find them there. And I think it's lauderdalebearweek.com. I'm not quite sure on that one, but they have so many events. They have the 3 pool parties. We're actually putting one of them on the Tropical Bear Splash. It's going to be at the Easton. They also have the Richardson Park event. So it's going to be a busy weekend because you have the Florida AIDS Walk that weekend too.
Yes, that's going to be a very busy week, but we're going to have a fabulous tan, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
All right. Or I might have like a sunburn from my harness. That's probably what's going to happen.
Oh, I have seen you in a harness.
Yes, you have. Why you looked at me all weird for a second? He just gave me that side eye. I think Kevin saw me topless with a harness. Things happen. Things happen in Costa Rica. We don't have to talk about it. Okay, and the most important that I wanted to talk about was the 9th annual FlockFest Beach Party featuring DJ Deanne on Saturday, July 6th.
She has been at the top of my list of DJs to get. She is the best of the best.
Oh my God, I've seen her. She is incredible.
She is truly amazing. And this is the first female DJ on the beach party.
Yay!
So the team that we have in place for FlockFest really has let me be the deciding factor of all of our talent and entertainment to make sure that we.
That's a huge trust, Kevin.
It's a huge trust, and like when I would. Pitch is like, well, this person costs this much. And I'm like, but this person is representing a whole different demographic. And we want them to bring their demographic to our events to make sure that everyone feels welcome.
Was that how you sold me for last year?
Yeah. I needed a loud Latino. And you, thankfully, I remember you yelling at people in Spanish to get off the beach.
Oh my God! No, so it's hysterical. So again, I love Kevin. I'll do anything for Kevin and the FlockFest boys. I really adore them. Anyway, so when they asked me to be part of FlockFest, I was super excited. And like I said before, I was also kind of like trepidatious because I was just like, oh, there's not going to be any girls there. There's going to be no inclusivity, blah, blah, blah. I get there and that's so farther from the truth, right? And I've gotten so much great feedback from after last year's FlockFest beach party from people just like, you were the one hosting FlockFest. It was so great to see you, blah, 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 blah. And it's just such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event. And the cabanas are awesome. They also have a cabana contest, right?
Yeah.
And people go all out.
Oh my God, they really went out.
All out. But the point I was trying to get to was that it rained, right?
Yeah.
And so then thank you so much to Fort Lauderdale Police. I mean, all those people were just so incredible. The lifeguards. So they're like, listen, you need to tell everybody to get out of the water because there's some thunder coming, some lightning. We just want to make sure that everybody's safe.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody in English, please get out of the water. We're gonna still party in here. Get in. Blah blah blah. And then Kevin comes over and he says, hey, you have to say it in Spanish too. And I was like, okay, tiburón, shark, get out the water, sal del agua. Everybody got out real quick. I mean, it was quick. It was easy.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that that was the first time that had ever happened that we had to evacuate the beach. And, when you are pulled with, the lifeguards are coming to you and they're like, you need to evacuate, and having to be event organizers that we planned that for a year. I mean, we've been planning this since the last one, and to have to tell people you have to leave, it's heartbreaking. It's one of those hard decisions. It's like, but when the safety of the community comes first, people are like, well, they're cabanas. Why can't we just stay underneath that? I was like, well, it's lightning.
Yeah.
The rain is fine. It's the lightning. And it was people, we wanted to make sure that they were safe. And we were surprised that 90% of all the people came back.
That's what I was going to say too. That I was like, are you sure, Kevin? We really have to tell them that we have to stop the party now? Because we had to turn off the music. Like, you have to abide by certain rules. And I was heartbroken. But like you said, most of those people came back. I was like, they're not going to come back. It's only an hour left of the party. Nope. Everybody came back and we partied, and then we had to throw them out because then it was actually time to actually finish.
Yeah. And we all, we wanted to make sure that everyone was safe. And, also with the lifeguards, we are stewards of that beach, and we want to make sure that, we're able to be invited back. And if you don't follow the rules set by the lifeguards, they're there for our safety, then they can deny us our permit the next year.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't want that.
We want to make sure that we're always in compliance. All the city, the city of Fort Lauderdale has been amazing to work with. We know all of the people that we work with in every one of the departments by name. They come up, they give us guides.
No, and you can tell, again, as a brown Latina, when a cop comes up to me, I'm sorry, I get triggered, and I'm usually afraid. Right? But they came up in such a way like, excuse me, listen, I'm so sorry, we have to do this. It was not in a stern way. Yeah. And like, you can just tell that they were allies, or I made them allies in my mind because they were just so considerate. You know what I mean? Like, they could have been like, cops sometimes are, close it down. Yeah. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And there was none of that. There was just like, it was like they were part of the event.
They were.
You get me?
They want our success.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just, again, that was just a wonderful thing. Yeah. Again, like I said before, you guys work with everybody. You're working with SunServe more this year as well. You're working with Myth more this year. You have like kind of like a give back or something. What's going on with Myth?
So Myth is they just had their grand opening last.
Yes, and it was awesome. I love you, Javier and Carlos Dealer. I love you guys. Yes. Aren't they hot?
Oh my God, so hot. It's hard to have meetings with them because I just keep having to wipe my drool off. They're the nicest guys.
The nicest. So, right, I interviewed them right at the beginning of the year. And like, I always try to watch the interviews back to critique of how bad I am. And with them, I watched it, and then I watched it again on mute because they're so damn hot. I didn't want to hear me anymore. Yeah. I just wanted to see their beautiful bodies.
They are, and they reached out to us because we started doing the Give Back Tuesdays where we would come in, we would promote an off night for them because it's easy. A lot of businesses have built-in business each night, and we came to them and said, "What night do you need help with?" Because we want to promote you, we want to help build that night up for you to bring business back to the drive. Because everybody supports us. Last year they actually did the sponsor tent. They provided all the food for us, so this was our way of giving back to them. Same thing with Hunters has been a great partner of ours.
Mark, we love you. Mark Hunter always has Hunters always have a cabana, or they sponsor your VIP area for the pool parties as well, right? Yes. So huge commitment from Mark Hunter and Hunters to FlockFest and you boys.
And we're about giving back to them as well. Like the celebrity lip sync battle, they're giving us the space, but we're bringing them patrons that come and buy drinks from them. When we do Flock the Block during the beach party week, that's having this concert out in the thing where they generate the revenue for them to help give them a return on their investment.
Oh, I love that. I love that. God, man, you really are involved. Yeah. Shit, you busy. Why is it that when I call you to go
booked?
Hashtag booked. I'll be like, hey Kevin, what are you doing? Are you out? Can you meet me? No, I'm busy. I've got this, and this. I'm like, you know what? I have a finger for you. Guess which one it is? The one in the middle. So I got to congratulate you on 10 years of sobriety, boo.
Yeah, it's a very proud accomplishment of mine.
Let me see I asked you to bring your medallion because I wanted to see it.
Well, I have two.
Okay.
There is my 10-year medallion, the rainbow medallion.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. You see that?
Yeah.
Oops, do you see that? Oops, do you see that? Oops, do you see that?
Yeah.
Oops, do you see that? Oops, do you see that?
And the other one is from Chief Schultz.
Oh, and that's from Bill Schultz.
Yes.
That is beautiful. I love how you kept those two together.
Yeah. I also have someone's 8-year coin.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Faye gave me her 8-year coin last year, and I keep it on my desk as a reminder is that we are a community.
We are a community.
Yeah, and we're here to support each other. And we've had many talks offline about our sobriety and our struggles and our challenges, because just because you're over an addiction doesn't mean that you don't have a lot of the emotional, things that come along with it.
And the triggers and the baggage and all of that, there are, and I wanted Kevin to bring in his medallion, and I brought in mine because I wanted you folks to see that it is possible.
Yeah.
Right. The reality is that me and Kevin, when we both first got sober, a lot of the people that we got sober with are no longer here with us anymore, or they're back out, or they're in jail. Okay. And that's just kind of what happens in our community. Drugs and alcohol are prevalent. And it's just part of everything that we do, but you can still have a fun, fulfilled life without drugs and alcohol. Me and Kevin are at 1 million events with water, Diet Coke, whatever it is. And there's something about being able to have a community within our community. Like, you, me, Alex Furbear, Shasta McNasty. There's a bunch of people in our community that are in sobriety and are open about it. And I don't say the names like that because we're, unfortunately in 12-step programs, it's all, you've got to stay anonymous. You can't say your name. But for Kevin and I, we stay sober out loud for people that can't, for people who can't come out and tell their stories.
Exactly.
Right. And so, it's so important. So congratulations, man, because and I gave you my 8-year, I don't do that lightly either. This is my freaking 8-year medallion. I can't even remember what the hell you and I were both going through that week, but it was like, I need to give you this, and, they tell us in sobriety, like if you're going through something, stick this in your mouth. Okay. Stick this in your mouth before you go get, an alcohol or a drug.
I don't know what that's been. I'm not putting that in my mouth.
I put this in my butt only once.
Okay. But it's also, last year was it was a very emotional year for me. For one, leaving Pride, but when, Jana, we love Jana.
Jana Jaffe, love you, Broward House.
So, last year,
Dining Out for Life.
Yeah, Dining Out for Life was the night of the flood, and I was impacted by the flood, and so was Broward House, really, really bad. And a lot of people don't talk about rehab, and I do. It's one of those stigmatized things, and I don't understand it because it did help me relearn. It wasn't brainwashing. I kind of needed it because my brain was filthy.
Be rewired.
Yeah, and then they taught me how to hate something that I loved. And I was a meth addict, and I was a meth addict for 17 years. And so we were going to do a fundraiser for me to help rebuild my house. And all right, I can't get emotional.
You can get emotional.
So it was, Jana approached me and she's like, Kevin, can you help us? And I was like, well, let me just do the fundraiser that was going to be for me, for her. And we did the celebrity lip sync battle. And out of that, we were able to raise, the money was matched by the Warden Foundation. And so we had given them a check for $12,000. Somebody came up after the event and said, hey, I didn't know things were that bad because we really showcased on the screens the devastation. That
you really showed it.
And, somebody reached out and gave them another $3,000. So we raised $30,000 to help rebuild a recovery center that helped get my life in order.
Wow, that full circle, right?
It's service keeps you sober, and that was my way of giving back.
And and it's like that. I always say that friends who do service together, and again, in sobriety, and I don't want. I know it's like some of you are like, right, but this is how we stayed sober. And I know that there's plenty of people out there that would like to do the same. The reality is that if you're helping others, you can't be all stuck on yourself. And that's what we are as addicts and alcoholics. We're so full of ourselves. We can only think about us and our addiction at times, And once we get past that, we get to help others. In the process, we're also helping ourselves.
And helping others is my high. I enjoy helping others, and that's what makes me high. That's where I get that good feeling that I was, that the chemicals were giving me. I get this new high because I'm making a difference in our community.
Yes, and he gets giddy. Yeah. Like when he gives people money, he gets giddy. Like you can see him, like he's so excited, And I got to go back to the floods because those floods of 2023 were awful. Kevin lost everything.
Yeah.
Okay, there's videos online of the devastation, and he said, no, we're not going to do this fundraiser. And I remember people from the community, Scott Holland over at Hotspots, people like that were saying, okay, we need to put something together for Kevin, for his home, and then, no, I'm okay. I will figure out my home. I'm like, bitch, are you going to move? No, I'll redo it. And I'm like, but you turned that around and then helped the Broward House. And You're an incredible human being, and I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. You know, we lose too many people to addiction, and you and me are people are, you know, and again, and it's not that we're over the hump. That's the reality. There are plenty of times that I call Kevin and I'm like, this triggered me. And he's like, bitch, really? And I'm like, yeah, okay, remember this, this, and this, you know? And that is how we have to live our lives, unfortunately.
Yeah. Healthy boundaries is probably one of the number one things that I brought out of my sobriety, out of going through rehab, was trying to make sure that I tell people what I'm comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with.
Boundaries.
And I am not a person that likes confrontation, but I've learned if I don't set those boundaries for myself, that I'm setting myself up to fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been it's been hard. You know,
a journey.
Yeah, it's been a journey. You know, I still dream about using, and it's the weirdest thing, and it will just come out of nowhere, and then I'll wake up and I feel like I've relapsed. I was like, well, it's good, but I'm recognizing when I wake up that what I was doing in my dream was wrong.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and we're surrounded by people drinking and, you know, doing whatever they have to do all the time, right? And, you know, some people get sloppy, right? You have an open bar, people get sloppy. And sometimes that even helps me, Kevin. Like, be like, okay, that's why I don't drink, right?
That's a hot mess right there.
That's a hot mess
Was
right
that
there.
me? Did I do that?
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about your pups. I want to talk about your pups. Please bring your picture over.
My pups.
Oh my God, they're so cute. All right, tell us their names.
Okay, so I have a Frenchie that is Beef. Because he's thick. He's just a thick dog. He's a rescue. He was with a family, you know, he's a purebred, but, you know, he was with a family where he didn't get along with the other Frenchies. And I was like, you know, he had a cherry eye. And I'm like, all right, well, let me just watch him. I'll foster him for a couple of days until we find another home, because I already had the other two. And oh my God, I fell in love with this dog so quick. And
he's the one that you send me most of your pictures with, is Beef. Like always. He's always snuggled up with Beef, always topless.
Yeah.
Beef too.
Oh, yeah. And then I have my brother and sister, Ralphie and Dory. They're two Boston Terriers. I got them from Animal Aid over on Prospect Boulevard, because, you know, it's easy to buy a dog. And I wanted to rescue dogs because I wanted to make sure that, you know, everyone felt love.
Yes.
And I had such a hard problem. I was struggling. I was filling out paperwork, and, you know, I was trying to, like, they would put a dog up online. I'd sit there and send my paperwork in, and it's pages and pages and pages. And then like a week later, they're like, no, the dog's not available. Oh. And I was so discouraged. And I had put up a post. It's like, you know, I'm trying to do the right thing by adopting a dog, and I'm just frustrated, and I feel like I've just been beaten up. And Skip Vandeline reached out to me, and he said, these two dogs, Ralphie and Dory, brothers and sister, are at Animal Aid. They've not been put on the market yet, you know, to be showcased. Do you want to come look at them? And I'm like, yes. So I took Dory home. She's the girl. She was great. They wouldn't show me Ralphie because his dad had mauled the entire side of his neck. And so...
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So we took Dory home, and great little dog. And then they called us the next day and said, listen, you know, we've got Ralphie. He's not responding. He's not coming around.
He needs a sister.
And so we went there. I looked at him. He wouldn't come near us. He just stayed in the corner. And I'm like, all right, let me just try to take him home. And I took him home. He walked in the door, saw his sister, and he was like, hey, what's going on?
Oh, my God. Oh, that's the best story ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Our dogs help us through shit. Oh my God. You know, floods. Going back to Kevin's floods, right? So Kevin has 3 dogs, and he had to walk out of the house through a window carrying dogs over his head. That's how much water had gone into his house, where his doors were no longer functioning. So he had to climb through the window with 3 pups.
Yeah, I carried 2. I carried Ralphie and Dory. You know, the water was up to my chest.
Oh my God.
We left everything in the house. My Gabo had taken Beef with him, but we just left with a backpack with a thing full of meds, because we didn't know when we would come back, what we would come back to. And, you know, the house stayed flooded for 3 days. So, you know, wasn't able to access anything. And, you know, just having them, you know, they were my life.
Yeah.
I was like, screw the house. Everything in it can be replaced.
But my babies can't.
They can't.
No. I'm telling you. It's like, you know, when people say who rescued who, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do the initial part of it, but they do all the rest.
I sleep in their bed. They don't sleep in my bed. They take over.
Okay. Yeah. If my 2 dogs are on this side, I might have to start wearing a diaper to bed, because I can't get up to go to the bathroom, because then you mess up the whole chi. You know what I mean? Of the bed. So.
And Beef sleeps right here. Or he'll come up around, like I like to sleep on my side. He'll come up behind me and stick his head right here and just start.
Oh my God.
He snores so loud.
Oh, no, but it's like white noise, that snore. No?
But I know that at that moment that I feel loved and I feel connected to him and I'm able to sleep better.
Yeah, and there's something about that warmth that you feel, or that weight that you feel of your dog, right?
Yeah.
It's that connection between you and your pet. There's nothing like it, all right? So if you don't have a pet, go adopt one today, okay? And you could be just as big animal lovers as me and Kevin are, all right? Is this your dream job?
Yeah.
This is what you love to do. This
I
makes
love
you
helping
happy.
the community. Yeah, and it's great because I have so many friends that are in nonprofits and they call us up and ask for advice. And you know, I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to events and social media, and like I just started learning how to do graphic design. You know, I just basically I know what I liked. And I started putting it together, and you know, the apps today are just so helpful. You know, like my friend Roger Roa, who was over at the Pride Center, we used to compete against each other in the Florida AIDS Walk. You know, like we'd always see who could come up with the most money. He's now at the Boys and Girls Club, and he reached out to me and was like, Kevin, I need help fundraising. And so I'm going to be helping him with fundraising. And
that's another great organization.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not an LGBTQ plus organization, but there's probably LGBTQ plus people there. So
and
why not?
What was surprising is, one, I love the Boys and Girls Club. Anytime there's an opportunity to mentor some of our youth, it's so important. And he told me, he goes, our biggest challenge right now is that for every 2 females, I only get 1 male. And he goes, we need so many males to come up and step up and help mentor some of these kids.
And you could find those males.
Yep.
They'll be fabulous, some flamboyant, some successful, some deadly gorgeous, but you've got a bunch.
We know so many people.
Right?
And,
that's a great idea.
Using the resources that we have and being connected to our community. Like, I know that you can reach out to me anytime. Like, Kevin, I need this. And I can find it. And if not,
you'll find me somebody to find
it.
You have, yeah.
And that's the great thing about our community, is that we really come together, we work together, and we all support each other. You know, to make sure that we have the best community.
We really do.
Yeah.
We really do. And because of people like you, Kevin. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for being on the FayWhat show. Was it hard being in bed with me?
No.
Were you worried at all?
Maybe.
Okay.
But you let me be on top, so I'm okay.
Only this month. Only this time. It's hard being a power bottom sometimes.
Yes,
when
it
you're
is.
laying on pink. You know? Look into that camera and say, FayWhat!
FayWhat!
You usually do it better.
Okay.
Do it again.
FayWhat? Oh.
Make sure that you follow FlockFest on all social media outlets, okay? That is flockfestevents.org. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/flockfestftl, and also facebook.com/splash pool party FL. On Instagram, also at FlockFest Events, Twitter, and all the rest, FlockFest FTL.
But not Pornhub.
But not Pornhub.
Maybe X Hamster.
Ooh.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin, for being on the FayWhat show, honey. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you for taking the time.
It's been amazing to work with these years.
And
we're not done.
And we're not done. The best is yet to come. Also follow Kevin Clevenger. He's on all social media outlets as well. All right? That is how we do. That is how we bring up our community. All right? Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Flock on.
Flock on, mother.
With my
flockers.
Flajamas.
I love your flajamas.
Yeah.
I love them.
Flamingo jamas.
What?
Flajamas.
Flagellants.
Not flatulence.
Oh.
We got to be under the covers for that.
Thank you, Kevin Clevenger. We will be right back.
Yeah.
And we've got another special interview for you. Adrianna Tender, the incredible woman behind Trans Inclusive with the rest of her crew over there. They do incredible things. Also, she's going to be telling us a little bit about Dolphin Dems and what they have in store for us for 2024. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the FayWhat show. Today, I am super blessed to have my next guest on the show, all right? Her name is Adrianna Tender, and she is just such an incredible friend to me. She is like a sister, and I've been wanting to get her in bed for a while. Wait a minute, that sounded kind of hot. Yeah, if you know Adrianna, then you know what I mean. Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Adrianna and why today is so important and why I had to get her in bed. So Adrianna Tender is just an incredible human, like I said, and she's the program coordinator for Trans Inclusive Group and a board member of the Human Rights Campaign. She is a staunch transgender advocate with expertise in trans healthcare and HIV prevention. She holds an associate degree in psychology and is finishing her bachelor's at Florida International University in her spare time, which is none, okay? She is also the founder of Tender Loving Care Trans Mentoring. Adrianna is a recognized force for change, receiving accolades like the Bishop S.F. Makalani Mahi Transgender Advocate Award in 2019 and a Noir Diamond Excellence Award in 2023, plus a whole bunch other awards that we ain't got time to talk about right now, all right? Good morning, Miss Adrianna, and welcome to the FayWhat Show.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh my God, you look amazing.
Thank you, and so do you. You're looking scrumptious.
Wow. Listen, and these shoes. So I tell Adrianna that we're gonna be in bed, right? And she goes, "Okay, I'll just wear something casual."
This is casual.
This is something. Can you show our viewers your beautiful shoes?
Oh,
because I'm like, look, no one's gonna see your shoes.
it's
She
just
goes,
a little something.
it's just a little something.
Just a little.
Don't you want to
something.
lick these? I want to lick these. Okay. Thank you, Miss Adrianna. So we've got a few things to talk about, Mama. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time out to be on my show. I've been wanting to do like an in-depth, thorough interview with you, and we're gonna get to that no matter what. I don't care how busy we are. But today, there were two really important things that we have to talk about, and I couldn't think of anybody else more than you to have these conversations with, all right? So, Trans Inclusive Group, there's so much going on over there. You must be busy as hell.
Very busy.
You must be busy as hell.
Very busy.
Hello to Tatiana Braxton and everyone over there that do so much, that do the work, Something crazy happened recently, and I really needed to talk to you about it. So in an ongoing campaign to make Florida uninhabitable and unsafe for transgender individuals, the coward of Governor Ron DeSantis and his administration quietly reversed a policy that allowed Floridians to obtain driver's licenses that reflected their true gender identity. What the F? What the F? What the F, Adrianna? Help me understand and help the trans folks that are watching saying, what the F? Like, so what exactly does this mean? Will you have to give back your license? Will transgender folks have their licenses revoked? Will people get in trouble for having a license that hasn't been checked off by DNV? What happened? Like, what happened when you got the news?
So right now it's very vague, and right now they're in session, and this is what they're talking about. They're still voting on it, but even though they have not voted on it,
okay,
the Department of Motor Vehicles have already put out a statement saying this is what's going to happen. So it seems to be that, like myself, I've already had my gender marker changed. It's a possibility that I won't have any problem.
Okay.
But people who are trying to go get their license now and get their gender marker changed, they will have problems.
Oh.
It'll be very hard for them, and they're going to have backup documents like your birth certificate or possibly your passport, which we're hoping if the passport is a backup document, a lot of people are now trying to go change their passports.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to have their gender marker changed. But they're saying that no one will be able to change their gender on their license.
Oh my God. And that's one of the things that like makes the whole transition complete, when your paperwork matches who you are.
It's an affirmation saying that I am woman. I'll never forget when I got mine. I've been transitioning ever since, well, I don't want to date myself. I'll say 1997. I've been living as a woman since then. And when I changed my gender marker back in, I think it was 2012, something like that, it was just another step for me. It was like almost that final step.
Mm-hmm.
I felt safe. I could go anywhere and present my license, and there weren't any problems. I remember back in the day just going to something as simple as going to a club, and people would look at you and then see your gender marker, and if it said man, they would keep you out.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And that's just something small.
Yeah. But it's such, there's so many hoops that you have to jump through as it is just in transitioning. And all those things cost money, right? Like everything costs a lot of money. And then now you're going to add more crap to it, I mean, so Adrianna, like, what do you tell a trans person that's watching my show right now going, what do I do now? Like, I'm getting chills because it's so fucked up. Like, it's just so effed up. There's no other word to say but that, And then for Governor Ron DeSantis to do something like that, like, at 4 a.m. on the low, and then all of a sudden it just comes out. How did you hear about this? And what happened over there at Trans Inclusive? I could just imagine the up in arms everybody was.
So we had, I had a friend of mine that sent me the document saying that this is what's going to be happening. And my deputy director at Trans Inclusive Group, Nick Santop, who's always on top of everything and knows everything.
Nick, they are amazing.
They are. They sent us an email explaining everything, letting us know, okay, this is what's going to be going on. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. very thorough. But what I would say to trans people out there, the first thing I would say is don't worry, don't stress.
Okay.
You know, and the next thing I would say is if you're not registered to vote, get up and go vote. Because the only way to change any of these things that are going on, especially since we're stuck with DeSantis until his term is over, is to go vote and make sure that the Senate and the House change so we can overturn some of these laws.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and you're fighting the big fight, which with trans inclusive and also with the Dolphin Dems. Let's talk about the Dolphin Dems, okay? So I was really excited about the Dolphin Dems and their announcement about a month ago. So the Dolphin Dems mission, it shall be the mission of this organization to foster goodwill between gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender members of the Democratic Party and the community at large. We seek individual freedom in the framework of a just society and political freedom in the framework of meaningful participation by all citizens. That is the mission statement of the Dolphin Dems. And you have been with them since
2017.
2017. Holy crap. Okay, so we're going on 7 years with them.
Yes, it's been quite a ride.
Oh, I bet. So I read the mission statement. What exactly does Dolphin Dems do?
So basically, we endorse LGBTQ friendly candidates, and we are supposed to make sure that we are educating the community on all of the laws and bills that are being passed and that are up to go to session, and to let people know about the candidates. You can come to our meetings and meet candidates all across from Dade, Broward, West Palm Beach counties. We've even had some senators and stuff come over there. So
yeah, because I know Chevron loves you guys. Oh my goodness, and I know you love him.
Yes.
You've got to get educated, folks, right? And I know that I'm constantly screaming about voting, and you must be tired of me saying it. But you know what? Guess what? It's an election year. You're going to hear me saying it a million more times. Go vote. It's so important. All those right now we're feeling all the crap that we didn't for not voting for all these years. People have been put into place that hate us and don't want us to breathe. Great. And now we're feeling it, you know? Yes. And now they're in office and we're like, what happened? You know what happened, bitch? You didn't freaking vote. That's what happened.
Right.
And I hate to say it like that, Adrianna, but I feel that like after marriage equality, a lot of people kind of just went, all right, our work is done, And I'm going to tell you some shit that's really going to blow your mind, okay? I've got some friends that will just vote for like a Black last name or a Latino last name when they go in to vote. All right, they won't go and do the research, find out, go over to Trans Inclusive and find out who they want, or Dolphin Dems and find out who they are supporting, and those should be the people that you should support. Don't just pick an Alvarez because you're Latino and you think that you should pick another Latino. No, okay? Like, you would be surprised as to how many Black and brown people that are running are against our community.
Yeah, I agree, but I do want to clarify.
Please.
So as far as Trans Inclusive Group goes, we're nonpartisan. We don't care who you vote for.
As long as you vote.
Wink, wink, as long as you vote.
Okay.
But when it comes to Dolphins, if you want to know who you're supposed to be voting for, then you should definitely come to one of our meetings and we will let you know.
Okay. Thank you. See, you heard that. Okay. So I was super excited when your nomination was announced, right? Can I call you Kamala?
You can.
Do you understand what I mean by that, right? So, you're up for election to be VP.
So I am the current vice president of Dolphin Democrats now, but we are having elections, which is going to be on Valentine's Day. It's going to be a very short meeting. So just in case you have plans or something with your hubby or your girlfriend or whomever, just come out to the meeting and make sure that you come out and vote.
Yes. Okay.
And the person that's running for president is Alfredo.
Oh, Alfredo's fantastic. Yes. Oh my God. He has dedicated so many years also to our community. Now, I would be remiss if I don't mention that I'm loving the inclusivity, Adrianna. I love that you're a Black woman and I love that Alfredo is a Latino man and you're up there with a seat at the freaking table.
It's amazing. I am the first Black trans woman to be vice president of the Dolphin Democrats, and they've been around over 40 years.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. The first, and it's been 40 years. Okay. Evolution, right? It's evolution, folks. What's your platform? What do you want? What are you bringing to Dolphin Dems? Which I already can see plenty of things, that isn't already there, that hasn't already been brought.
So the one thing I will say is that when it comes to Dolphin Democrats, it's a wonderful organization. We do a lot of work. We make sure that we are educating the community on legislation. But what I will say is, when it comes to diversity inside the organization, as far as membership is concerned, when it comes to myself being Black, it's probably like 5% of us. I know it was hilarious to a couple of us at the meeting. There were like 100 people at the meeting and there was only 6 Black people. So that's one thing that I want to change. I feel like if I'm going to be in this position, I'm going to make sure that we are changing that, that there's more inclusivity, and making sure that we're reaching out to our members and seeing what inclusivity looks like for Black members, for trans members. That's what's really important to me.
Yeah, especially this year.
Yes. And making sure, for me, is making sure that our trans people are motivated and they're getting out to vote.
And I mean, again, election year, folks. It couldn't get more important than it is right now. So the Dolphin Dems will hold a board of directors election and municipal candidate endorsement at their annual membership meeting on Wednesday, February 14th this year, this week at 7 p.m. at the Pride Center, located at 2040 Dixie Highway, Wilton Manors. And like Adrianna said, it'll be a quick meeting. Okay, you'll be in and out. All right, but it's so important. So board of directors, election members will vote to elect the following: 4 directors, right? Each for a 2-year term.
Correct.
A secretary with a term ending in 2025, and president and VP.
Correct.
Yes. All right.
Correct.
So in the know. Okay. So, and I'm always asked, like, what can I do? How can I get more involved? Who can I volunteer with? These are the organizations that you need to look out for. And, especially, again, election year. Go to Dolphin Dems, get involved. It's needed now more than ever.
Can I add something?
Always.
So this is the second year that Trans Inclusive Group has been blessed to be a beneficiary of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation Florida AIDS Walk.
I love it, HF.
So
I had the AIDS Walk. Oh, so much fun. It's the only time I wake up that early, aside from the show.
So if you will go to the Florida AIDS Walk, look for Trans Inclusive Group and make your donation, AIDS Healthcare will double that donation. So go and do it.
Yes, go and do it. And since you just mentioned trans inclusive, I wanted to give you guys also a big congratulations. You just hired a new person also, right?
Yes, Chris Gordon. She is amazing.
Chris!
She's amazing. Hi, Chris.
Congratulations, darling. You are a wonderful addition to the powerhouses that are there at Trans Inclusive Group, right?
She is. She's our first woman that's going to be at Trans Inclusive.
She's your first cisgender woman. Let's be very clear.
Yes.
Because trust, okay? Those
woman.
Leaders are women, through and through. So, folks, make sure that you follow Adrianna Tender and also Trans Inclusive Group and Dolphin Dems. Make sure that you go on out to their election, vote for the people that are making our future better or are trying to make our future better, all right? Don't talk shit if you're not a part of it. All right, that's one thing I'm sorry that I always say, like, don't bitch about it, be about it.
Be about it.
Right? All right, we're going to get more with Adrianna in a future interview. But again, make sure that you follow her on social media, follow Trans Inclusive, follow Dolphin Dems, and we will be right back. Thank you, Adrianna.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
So that's the FayWhat show. I hope that you had fun. Thank you so much to Jamal L. Starks for joining me in bed, and the amazing Kevin Clevenger and the beautiful Miss Adrianna Tender for a great interview. I am really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. It's often hard for us girls, but if we believe we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q plus. We opened the show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity because it's what makes us so damn strong. Until then, make sure that you follow me on all social media outlets, Facebook, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Follow FayWhat. And since you're always on the go, you can listen to The FayWhat Show wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just search The FayWhat Show. Until next Monday, world, at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. I'm FayWhat, and I am hashtag that girl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word is that girl, the girl of all our dreams. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled tea dance, Wilton is that girl. Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl to